Hey guys, it's Forgy here. Finally getting around to doing the Mythic Echo Neltharion commentary. Sorry it's been a bit delayed, been having a lot of fun playing the game and frankly not as much like inspiration to do these because I don't know, they're not that like niche or inspired or anything. They're kind of pretty basic. But nonetheless, I know that people look forward to these, so here we are. So on this fight, the way you need to be thinking about your like gameplay is a lot revolved around the mechanics, and a lot of time you're going to be delaying your cooldowns in P1 and P2. Not by a lot, but you'll kind of see what I mean. Talent-wise, it's pretty basic, right? We do play the barrage-like form of the build, where we take resonance, barrage clear, and barrage execute, like as opposed to the missile stuff and the mana adept. But yeah. Oh, also do play shimmer on this fight. It's very nice. And also play double ice block cooldown reduction. Helps a lot. So yeah. Anyway, start of the fight. Nothing crazy, right? We're just gonna do our burst. Obviously evocate before the pull. Do your opener. You can do the missile thing here first, where you missile before your burst if you have a clear casting. That can work as well on this fight specifically, because we're not as stressed with our cooldown reduction. But I didn't do it here. You do your burst, and if you get this line here, you kind of need to move to the wall, or you move over here. One thing you can try and do is be really close to the boss, like really close, right under the boss's hitbox, before you drop your rune, and you can use that clear casting missile I was talking about to help you do that. That way, if you need to move to the left here with the lines, or to the wall with the lines, you'll be in your rune. Luckily, I didn't get it this pull, but yeah. I wouldn't delay your cooldowns like much more than the missile cast though, just to get like a better rune placement. But yeah. It's worth noting if you get the line on you, you are not a viable target for heart, so feel free to use alter time if the line is on you. Alright, we do our rotation. Nothing crazy here. I'll just let it play out. For P1 defensives, it kind of depends on your guild. So you'll see me here, I only mirror image, and I do not mage barrier before my shifting power. This is just because of the way the cooldowns lined up for my guild. It just felt better to like only mirror image for me here. A big part of why I mirror image is because of a symbol of hope that's about to be coming pretty soon. But anyway, yeah, we go into our mini burst. You can use the movement of like the setup of the mini touch. Once again, if you get the lines going to the wall. Yeah, see the symbol of hope coming for me now. Really, like, figure out when your guilds are using symbol of hope. It's very powerful. It almost gives us, it gives us back half of our mirror image, right? With shifting power, that's like a half and a bit more. It's very powerful. You can see like mirror image is already up. It's still up, and it has 20-second cooldown remaining. So yeah. So as soon as you get a heart, the way you do it is you alter time, and then you double shimmer. And after you double shimmer, you can put up a mage barrier just to be safe. But if you're full HP, you don't need to mage barrier usually. But yeah, the moment your thing done, alt time back, and you need to get back before the new wall comes up, right? And that's where alt time kind of that's why we use it, right? Very handy. Okay, now this is kind of where the damage gets pretty real. This echoing fissure here, I believe it's weaker nowadays, but on our prog, this one started to hurt. With my cooldown setup, I actually would usually ice block this one. I felt like really safe this pull, so I didn't really do it. But you can ice block this one, but it basically comes down to how you want to deal with your ice block. There's two ways to use your ice block. You either use it here and the end of P2, or you use it like on the last set of hearts in this phase, and then you only have it for P3, so not P2. In my opinion, P2 is harder, more hectic, so it makes more sense to try to save ice block for that instead. Yeah, and you can ice block this one. And we'll go over the one you normally would ice block. As you saw, like I was pretty healthy, so I wasn't too stressed, so I didn't press block, but you can definitely block that one if you want. Alright, so you'll notice what I'm doing here is I'm actually holding my cooldowns. Like you might say, Forgy, your surge is in 2 seconds, or you're trolling. Why is it? Why are you not like evocating and sending? And it's because there's a heart that comes out here that we really don't want to pop our cooldowns for if we do get it. So instead what you do is you just keep like blasting. Once your surge is off cooldown, then you evocate. And if you do it like that, it lines up really well with the fight's timers, because watch, as soon as I'm done evocating, the hearts are gonna spawn. See, now I can start my burst, or not, depending on whether I got the heart or not. If I did get the heart here, it really, really, really sucks. And this is like one of the very few mechanics where like, if you get it, there's almost nothing you can do to like do really good damage. If you get it, your pro is kind of just unfortunately like not ruined, but it's certainly a lot weaker. I don't get the heart here, luckily, so you just send. Make sure you get in position. Yeah, you just send your damage. So this is a really important rune here that we're gonna place. So this rune leading up has to be very calculated, because this rune is gonna lead up to our next platform, or our next like segment, right? So you see me get in position, I start rune, and I blink. I blink just past the opening. That's very important, and then I move back in a little bit. I move out a little early, but yeah. The reason this is important is because once that yellow swirly spawns, that's spawning the new wall, you can see I can still stand in my rune. If you place that rune all the way back here, you're wasting half your rune. It really sucks, because you have the buff from your 4-piece, which is quite valuable, overlap with rune. So really try and place this one well. You might have to fiddle around with it a little bit, but yeah. And what you'll notice is as soon as the rune is over, the fire is creeping up on you, you just blink. Or you shimmer, shifting power, and then go into your things. Now you might notice I'm being a little inefficient with my cooldowns. Like, I'm not pressing my touch as soon as I could be. I'm wasting like 1 or 2 seconds here, but like I said, it's not as important in this phase, because we are playing this like 3-minute variation instead of the 2-minute 40 seconds. So we send our cooldowns. So this is the hearts that you can ice block in P1. Like I said, my guild, we made the decision, like I talked to my healers and we just talked amongst the raid, like we shouldn't immune this last set of hearts if you get the double up. Just because there's nothing happening. Like you can see everyone's full HP. There's not much going on afterwards. The heart debuff will be gone by the time Fisher comes out, so it's not as stressful. If you do get this one, make sure you have Mirror Image, Mage Barrier, Alter Time, and Greater Invis to help you live it. Use Greater Invis for the start, like for the initial hit. Try and time it right before it goes off. And obviously have Mirror Image running before the thing explodes as well. And then you can use your Mirror Image after Greater Invis, okay, just to smooth out the profile. You can also alter time, like at some point, but make sure it doesn't like affect your movement. Like you don't want to alter time back to heal and then you're like in a bunch of shit. But yeah, if you don't want to ice block this one, make sure you have everything ready for it. But anyway, we do our mini burst. Usually here your guilds might tell you to be stopping DPS. This is something that we did usually. We didn't on this pull. But you'll see me craft a mana gem here because it's the perfect time. I recommend crafting here even if you don't need to stop DPS. As for this last Fisher, it looks scary. But if you're full HP, you will not die with nothing up. You're completely fine. You don't even need to press Mage Barrier. Because like, look, it doesn't kill you. I have nothing up. I'm not in the middle of the raid. I'm not dead. I'm fine. We do have Rally up, so I will say, without Rally I might die. I don't think I do because I have 23.7% HP. But it might depend on your gear and avoidance a little bit. Obviously, put up Mage Barrier, no reason not to. But yeah, you don't need to pop a big cooldown. I do my rune here and I'm just DPSing. The value of the stop DPS here, by the way, is if he starts casting his lines as he hits 60%, you just get extra milk. So you see here, he hits 60% as soon as the lines start casting, which means that he actually stays in this phase for a little longer, and we get the boss down to like 58 point something before he phases. Yeah, like 58% pretty much before he enters the intermission phase. Now at this point you're kind of like doing some filler stuff. Your timer for evocate here is this Bigwig's timer of corruption. Once it hits 0, wait 1 GCD and then evocate. The reason we delay so much, technically you can send it as soon as the corruptions are targeted, like on people. The reason I like to wait so much is just in case I don't want to like surge my entire group while they're MC'd if their damage is a little slow. So you'll see me here, I just do one more Arcane Blast and then I evocate, and it lines up as soon as I start casting Surge, they're out of MC. If the group was a little slower, they would still be safe, right? But if the group was slower and I was like a second ahead, it might be problematic. As for your Surge, I send this Surge on the boss. This ad is never tight to kill. Just send it on the boss because you need to set up before the ad is like out of its like barrier, right? You can't wait for it to do your Radiant Spark. So you just do your damage here. on the boss. As soon as your touch of the Magi is done, then you can swap to the ad if you need. But make sure you're in the safe spot, obviously. Yeah. See, as soon as I'm done with my touch of the Magi, I rune. I can target the ad, but it's like 1 HP, so I decide not to. Okay, now you see I have a timer that says no alter. The reason this one is helpful is because if you get this heart here, you do not want to alter time it. And the reason is because of the next heart. But just keep in mind, don't alter this one, and we'll see the next heart when it comes. So you do your shifting power. Very important here, after your shifting power, do not send your mini burst straight away. You want to hold it for the next ad, just to do a bit more damage. Alright, so this is the next set of hearts. This is why we didn't alter. Now, what you should do here, I unfortunately didn't dispull as a mistake, you should alter time, take the gateway, and then if you don't get the heart, you can cancel aura alter time. If you do get the heart, you can alter time back. This obviously assumes you're number 1. So I guess if you're number 2 and you got the heart, you cancel aura, which actually happened to me here. I didn't alter time, luckily. Yeah. One alternative you can do is also you can gateway, alter time, and then if you get the heart, you can shimmer back. That's like a easier combination maybe to do. I don't like it as much personally, but that's completely fine as well. I get number 2 here, so I just go over here. Very important, very, very important. Whether you have this heart or not, this Umbral Annihilation, you have to Greater Invis. It will kill you most of the time, if you don't. Sometimes you can live if you're in all the cooldowns and everything, and Mage Barrier up and Mirror Image up, you can live, but there's no better time to press Greater Invis than this one. So you just Greater Invis, you take no damage from the Umbral Annihilation. So this is kind of why we saved our mini burst, you'll see here. Usually I'll be sending on the ad a little bit earlier, but yeah. Great tip actually, I forgot to mention this. The best way to target this ad through all the MCs and everything is this. If you're like the MC, then you need to target the ad. If you target the boss and you get MC'd and there's all these nameplates, just target the boss and press tab 1 time and it will automatically target the ad every single time. Great, great, great tip. You can share it with your guild, they probably don't know about it. It's a wonderful tip for this boss. Target boss, press tab, target the ad automatically. Even if there is 20 other MC'd players in front of you. Or well, you know, you're MC'd. Anyway, we send our touch of the Magi here, the mini touch on this ad here. It just lines up really well. This set of bombs is kind of scary with positioning, so make sure you're safe. Don't get like juked. But yeah, drop your runes straight away, nothing crazy, right? Normal rotation stuff. Finish it up. I don't know why my Great Invis timer is popping up here. I was trying to sort it in the middle of the raid and I couldn't get it down quite. So ignore this Great Invis timer. You can do it here. I opted to Mirror Image Mage Barrier this one instead because I got the heart on the last one. If you want, you can impromptu do something like you Greater Invis whichever one has the heart on it. So you can maybe like if you don't get the heart on the first one in this section, do Mirror Image and Barrier on the first one. And then if you get the second heart, you can, or not, I guess you can Greater Invis that one. Or if you get the first heart, you can Greater Invis the first heart and then Mirror Image Barrier this one. Both are fine. I think that's actually probably the most optimal thing. You see I get the heart here, so once again, alter time, double blink, alter time back. As soon as touch is ready, or touch is 10 seconds, sorry here, no delaying, right? We just evocate straight away. I did it a little early just for the movement, because you know it's more important to be casting something than nothing. I get in position here as much as I can. Radiant Spark. Once again, on this one, you do want to send on the boss ideally. If your boss is really low, you probably can't send on the boss, unfortunately. But you kind of have to unless... I don't know, delaying seems really sketchy on this one. I personally would try to just send on the boss as much as you can. Even if it wastes like 1 second of Touch of the Magi or something. But yeah. We send this surge. For me, it was on the boss. And as soon as the touch expires, the boss goes immune pretty much, you'll see here. It explodes and the boss is instantly shielded. So I got lucky here. But yeah, apply your rune. So this is the one that I was talking about with the block. If you get this one or the previous one, any heart overlap where you're the double, which you most likely will be, if people still do doubles at least, you do want to block this one. Very, very important. Very, very valuable. You see I'm gonna block here. I don't have my comms on. And then the warlock next to me gets sacrificed. Now look at this guy's HP, just to give you an idea. Now this is a warlock, fellas. We all know how immortal warlocks are. He gets blessings of sacrifice, he pops unending resolve, and he goes that low HP. At least I think he pops on ending or a Dark Pact or something. But yeah. And the reason it's dangerous is because it leads into an annihilation as well. It's very scary, especially on the first one. But anyway, we finish off this phase. The way you know your timers are right, by the way, for this fight is basically this. The moment you apply your Touch of the Magi, the walls start spawning. You see how, like, the moment I apply my Touch of the Magi, once again, say Shifting Power. So I Radiant Spark, Nether Tempest, I Augmentation. Touch the Magi. As soon as I touch, the walls are spawning, right? That's a good timing. So you finish off your touch like normal, right? Nothing crazy. Okay. You do your rune. You're just hitting the boss. Now some ads spawn here. Ad damage is pretty important in our progress. I don't know about how it will be for you guys for sure, but for us it was quite valuable. So I do opt to go for like quite a bit of AoE damage here. So you see I barrage at the end of my rune to snipe one extra GCD. I orb. I craft mana gem before my big burst. I could have done this at a different time, but it's fine. This is a very low stakes situation right now. And I'm just kind of, explosioning. I don't barrage again because I'm about to do my burst. Hit the boss, and then right before you go in, you start evocating. Reason is once you're in the portal, you do 99% less damage, so obviously evocating while you're in the portal is great. The first portal doesn't hurt that much, so if you're like mostly full HP, you don't need to pop anything for it. As soon as you're done evocating, do like 1-2 GCDs. Yeah, just mirror image and a barrier. And then as soon as let me rewind, just so you guys can see the timing a little bit. Blast, I can blast. Radiant Spark. As soon as the lines start casting, see these lines here? This is the golden time to start your burst. So I'm delaying a little bit, I know, but it's good for ad damage. As soon as those ads start casting, you'll see I send, and you see as soon as I press my barrage, the ads are under the boss, and now I'm getting max cleave, right? So I'm not wasting any time. This is a huge chunk of your damage. P3 dictates your entire fight pretty much, so really try and optimize it. So see the moment they start casting, you're bursting. Or the moment the rushing lines start casting. I'll try and pause it. Right there, see? I'm casting Radiant Spark as soon as the boss casting the lines. Radiant Spark, Nether Tempest, casting your Surge. I try and get in position. It's a force of habit because of how Barrage used to work, but you don't need to do this anymore. But anyway, yeah, you do your burst. Now we're going to do the Starkareth burst formate, like a variant where you barrage at the end, right, of a Radiant Spark. So you barrage, touch, blast, blast, and instead of a third blast, you do a barrage into an orb. And then you miss out and you continue your single target. You can barrage one more time if you want. I really don't like it because it's very paddy, but technically I think it is pretty decent damage, but I did really dislike it. So I wouldn't recommend it. Drop your rune, do some dam, get in. This second one is a little sketchy. I would definitely try and have your mage barrier up before you go inside. I didn't unfortunately, but I lived luckily. I had very few pulls on this part of the fight, so I wasn't used to the damage quite yet. But yeah. This one is a little similar timing. This Touch of the Magi, you want to instead start your touch when the lines finish the cast. So I'm delaying a little bit here. You can see I'm like holding my cooldowns. See, the moment the lines are finishing the cast, I start casting Radiant Spark. I'm a little early, and I might be punished for it. Okay, my barrage did hit 5 targets actually, so I guess I was fine. But that's typically the good timing. And then once again, barrage again, orb. You can see it's not a huge rush to get this one because these ads don't typically die that fast, but their previous ones definitely do. Okay, this is the last part of the fight pretty much. This last portal destroys. It will fucking shit in your mouth, like really hard. You do not want to do what I did here, where I popped nothing. If you saved, like if you did the ice block variant that I was doing, where I was ice blocking at the end of P2, if you never got the volcanic heart in P2, this is what you ice block. Okay, you'll see Blue Gotti here pop his ice block. I should have greater invest. Sorry, I didn't because I was bad. I didn't expect this damage at all. Like I said, I was not used to the damage intake, but I should have taken no chances. Unfortunately, I died for my mistake, but it's completely understandable that I died. But yeah, and then yeah, you're just finishing off your rotation. Just do if you have any cooldowns. Just AoE or single target depending on the boss HP and how the tanks feel. But typically at this point, you're just killing the boss. Don't AoE, it's bad. Usually just stun ads. If they need to kite, they kite. But yeah, you're just finishing off the boss here. And yeah, that's pretty much the fight. The timings are a little particular in the last phase, but once you get an idea of how to play around them, you can do some huge damage. You'll see before I died, like on this kill, I believe I was like 50 DPS under rank 1, who was Galadriel, the mage from Northern Sky, but I was dead for 20 seconds. I had a great pull, even though I got really lucky with RNG and stuff. But you can see the damage potential that's happening on this pull. I died and I was at 150k and I ended the fight at 147. Probably could have climbed a bit more, maybe like 152 or something. But yeah, spec is very powerful. And phase 3 is all your damage. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you take note of the defensives. Really communicate with healers how you're going to be popping your cooldowns, because Symbols of Hope, very OP on this fight. And the next one, really try to figure out where they're popping it so you can utilize your mirror image. Very useful. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. If you guys have any questions or anything weird that's happening to you in your prog that I haven't talked about here, feel free to comment. I hope this guide helped out, and I'll try and pump out some more videos faster. But yeah, peace.